N-O-O-R-E, also with CPPS. As my colleagues have noted tonight and in previous testimony, the design process for the high school rebuilds has been problematic, with delays and flawed community engagement processes. But the time is right to hit the reset button and improve the design process going forward. We're completing the first phase of 3 projects and moving on to plan 3 new projects in a much changed environment. A new board, a change in leadership at the Office of School Modernization, and a new director of the Office of Teaching and Learning, Mr. Russo. As Director Constam stated 2 meetings ago, board members have a fiduciary responsibility to ensure that the construction projects proceed on time and on budget, but also a responsibility to ensure that the quality of the new buildings is as good as it can be within existing resources. In addition to my colleagues' remarks, we'd like to offer a few concrete suggestions for how we might improve the design processes. 1, ensure that community engagement is meaningful. If PPS truly believes that collaboration with stakeholders will produce better outcomes, then it needs to be done well with clear guidelines and expectations for all parties. In its oversight role, we ask the board to focus on the content of the community engagement efforts, not just the number of meetings and email addresses compiled. If students, parents, teachers, community leaders, and business partners are not given really meaningful opportunities to influence decision-making, then engagement efforts may actually prove to be counterproductive. On the other hand, genuine collaboration can produce new ideas, resolve problems, and generate the excitement and support that we would expect for projects that are critical to the future of this city. 2, greatly enhance the role of the Office of Teaching and Learning in the design process. If form is to follow function, then the educational side of the house needs to be much more active than it has been to date, from the beginning and throughout the design process. We've been ensured that OTL and teachers have been consulted throughout the design phase of the 3 schools, but in our view, educators should be playing a much more central and visible role in designing these schools than they have to date. We're particularly concerned that CTE and STEM issues have not received the systematic attention that they deserve. Since CTE and STEM spaces typically require more space and often dedicated space, it is imperative that the Office of Teaching and Learning be centrally involved in the design process from the very beginning. We strongly encourage PPS to elaborate the long-promised CTE plan for the district within the next 6 months. Ideally, this plan would have been available to guide the high school design processes 3 years ago. The idea that we may still not have a plan in hand when we go for a second bond is deeply troubling. It's worth noting that in terms of existing CTE and STEM curriculum, most of the high schools are more similar to Roosevelt than to Franklin. After a long and divisive fight, we finally feel like PPS is taking the STEM space issue at Roosevelt seriously and sincerely hope that the plan to convert the auto shop will come to fruition. But the fact that this is still an issue even after construction has started speaks to the flaws in the design process and the perils of forging ahead without a clear CTE STEM plan in place. PPS's plan to modernize schools all over the city should be cause for celebration. We know that the future of this city rests in no small part on the future of its educational resources. We all want these efforts to succeed. We want our collective legacy to be schools that future generations marvel at and thank us for. We stand ready to help you accomplish that, if only you'll let us.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.